Okay, good afternoon, all. Thanks for attending this afternoon's critical conversation. During this presentation, as always, we're going to be limiting the chat so that the attendees can focus on the information that's being presented. If you think of something you'd like to ask, you can either jot it down on a piece of paper. Once the presentation's we'll do a open chat with all. You can ask questions by clicking on the raise your hand Zoom emoticon and typing into a chat. We'll address it as many questions as time permits after the presentations in the order in which they were received. Please note, as always, that this critical conversation is being recorded, and a copy of today's conversation will be available on the President's intranet sometime next week. With that, at least for the opening, we're going to turn it over here to President Sisson.
Thanks, Pat. Great to see everybody. Thank you for attending our first critical conversation of the fall semester. I know many of you have been busy, whether you're faculty or staff, really getting our students settled into their fall courses. Appreciate all of the work that's been done over the summer and in this first month, which is usually a hectic one for everyone. So appreciate all your hard work. We particularly wanted to hold off on this topic until faculty had returned, because many of you completed a survey last spring, and we're excited to bring you those results and to talk about those today. I want a couple of messages I want to share with you before is, again, making sure that you know that here are all the dates for the critical conversation. Our next one will be Tuesday, October 28th, and at that point, we're going to be working with our team to really bring to you the bookend to this presentation, which is really our SESI, our survey of student engagement that really tells us a lot about what our students are thinking about their experience here at Middlesex, and sharing some of our opportunities to improve that. So that will be on Tuesday, October 28th, and we'll be sending out reminders. So we encourage you to sign up, but we'll look forward to seeing you in October for that. On the next slide, we have an opportunity to make sure that you all know that there's a series of open door days. I've had a chance to meet a lot of new employees and employees that have been with us for a while, and can't tell you how much I appreciate you dropping in or making an appointment with Angela to talk with me about an idea or a concern or a future vision you may have about the college. Just a chance for us to sort of chat about how things are going for you and how things are going at the institution. Gives me a chance to sit with people one-on-one, and I deeply appreciate having the opportunity to do that. And these are the dates that are going to be happening. So next open door day will be later in the October 21st, and that will be in Lowell or on Zoom. So again, all you need to do is reach out to Angela and let her know you'd like to be part of that. On the next slide, really excited to talk about the fact that we have our anniversary celebration coming up. And as many of you know, as I've said before, we were in the throes of COVID during Middlesex's official anniversary that was our 50th. So we lost our golden opportunity. And so we're going to grab 55 as an opportunity to really celebrate the history of the institution and all the amazing work that all of you do and have contributed to every day. I also want to note that officially the college's anniversary is tomorrow. Is today the 23rd? Yeah, tomorrow's the. I will not sing happy birthday. I've already done that at an inauguration, and that really was not a big. That wasn't a big hit. So I'll hold off on singing happy birthday to the college. But know that tomorrow is the official birthday for the college, hitting 55 years. So we're excited to celebrate. There are over 250 people who have already registered to be with us, and know that each and every one of you that purchases a ticket, that ticket is actually a donation to the student emergency funds here at the college to be able to support our students and their needs outside of tuition and fees that are already covered by the state to a great extent, thanks to Mass Educate and all the work that we've done there. So really excited to have a great night of celebration. We've promised there will be a relatively small speaking program, that we're going to have some wonderful entertainment. We have the Spit and Vinnies with John Savage and his crew. It should be a great night for community, to have a great community dinner together and to be able to celebrate the institution's anniversary, but along with that, an opportunity to celebrate our 10 years as serving as a federally designated Asian American, Native American, Pacific Islander serving institution. Before I give you an update about that, I do want to say that we're really excited about the people who have RSVP'd and purchased tickets. We are very fortunate that we have premium sponsor in TJX that is really covering part of the expense for this, which allowed for all of us to pay an affordable price for our tickets, and even many of our community partners that are helping to sponsor this as well. But in essence, your ticket would be what an outsider would pay, would be around $55 to cover the expenses of your dinner and the event. So we hope that you will find it in your heart and in your wallet to donate $15, bring a guest, make it 30, and all those donations will go to our emergency student fund and have you be part of an exciting and fun night with the college. We oftentimes don't get the chance to celebrate each other and celebrate the hard work that we do, and I think this would be a great evening. And it's at a great venue that does a significant amount of business with the local Cambodian community. It's a beautiful hall. Lots of weddings have been held there. So I think it's going to be a great venue, big dance floor, and just a great meal. So we hope you'll all come on down. If you haven't bought your tickets, I'm going to encourage you to do that very soon because this is going to happen in another couple of weeks. So we want you to not miss out on this. We are going to have a cap to some point when we get to higher numbers. So please do what you can to make your reservations and plan to be with us. And we appreciate your donations to the Student Emergency Fund. Let's leave the celebratory information up for a moment because I think it's bittersweet that we have an opportunity to celebrate our 10 years as a federally recognized Anapeasy institution. Many of you have heard, through many of the activities of the federal government of late, that there are some reversals of fortune, I would say, in a way that we are supporting our students in the way the federal government is viewing our work. And one of those has most recently hit MSIs, Minority Serving Institutions, of which we are one. We serve a significant population, and most importantly, our Anapeasy students that we serve. We recently found out that we will have a 1-year no-cost extension to continue our Anapeasy work, but that our Anapeasy fund and our funding in the 3rd year of a 5-year grant has been discontinued. We've appealed, as we have with all of our discontinuations. We're working with our legal office. We're working with the Attorney General's office to fight all of these non-continuation letters, including those that have impacted our pre-collegiate TRIO programs, of which Colleen Wynn and I have been spending a lot of time with legal, making sure that we're communicating. We're communicating with certainly our legislative delegation. We are communicating with our congressmen and senators so they have an idea of how this is impacting the institution in the years to come. So this 10th anniversary celebration for Anapeasy is a really important one because the work that's been done is incredible. You're also going to receive a communication that will come from Maria that has Varick and his staff and all the work that they do highlighted in terms of the data that we've been able to glean from how we've supported our students through that Anapeasy grant, and asking you to take action to potentially write letters to your Congress folks, be in touch, and fight against what's happening across the country in terms of many, many institutions losing funding for minority serving institutions such as ours. So I encourage you to read that about Anapeasy Week, which it happens to be this week. We are celebrating Anapeasy Week across the country. 18 years federally of supporting institutions with dollars to support wraparound services for students, and 10 years just here at Middlesex. But we encourage you to use this opportunity to step up and have your voice be heard, understanding how important this has been to our institution's identity. So I thank you all for that as well. And without any further ado, I want to turn this over to the person who's going to be presenting today, and that's Jake Donovan. Jake's been working at the college for a while now and has most recently stepped into the role of Assistant Director of Employee Engagement and Training. We designed that role specifically to do everything we can to improve the employee experience here at the college. And so he's going to tell you a little bit about the job that he's doing and his new role and how that's playing out and what the plans are. And you're going to see some of those plans as we hear about the employee experience survey today. So Jake, thank you so much for taking the time, and I turn it over to you.
Alrighty. Thank you, Phil. I appreciate it. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for taking the time once again to gather and really dive into the details of what each of you shared in the employee experience survey. As Phil mentioned, we're going to dive a little bit into what my new role is and how I can be a support to each and every one of you, as well as what the survey was and what was said by each of you. So to really dive right into it, we're going to focus first on my new role, the Assistant Director of Employee Engagement and Training. My role is primarily focused on supporting the employee experience here at Middlesex, and right now that means focusing on a few key work areas. First off is the new hire orientation and onboarding. So I've been developing a more consistent and welcoming process so that our new employees feel supported and connected to the college from their very first day. This is an ongoing project that we're going to be discussing a little bit more, so I'm going to hold off on any more info there. After that, I'm focusing more so on our employee engagement and recognition. We'll be diving into this a little bit later on as well, but I've been leading the employee experience survey, sharing results, and working with leadership in order to respond to the feedback that was graciously provided. And I also help coordinate recognition programs, including the Service Award, the Performance Recognition Program, as well as a new program, which we'll discuss later on, and some have already used, named Swoop Salute. My third focus is our compliance training. So things cybersecurity, conflict of interest, anything of that nature. I oversee the distribution and ensure completion here at the college. If you do have any questions about these trainings, please do not hesitate to reach out. And the final portion that I'm going to focus on in my new role is communication and connection. So I create the monthly newsletter that is sent out to everyone, the HR happenings. I've been doing that for about 3 years now, and I'm going to continue working on that as well as improving our communications channels from the Office of Human Resources in order to provide a better experience for all. To really dive into our employee experience survey, I threw together a short PowerPoint presentation for us. We're going to go over some of the key themes and details that were learned through the survey, really focusing on what each of us had to say about our experience here at the college. And then we're going to look at some recommendations and ideas in order for items to begin really implementing. So to dive into it, give me one moment just to share my slides here. Alrighty. For our employee experience survey, can everyone confirm that they can see our PowerPoint?
No, we can't, Jake.
Jake, they're not showing.
One moment.
There you go.
There you go.
No, we can.
Ready. So to dive into our employee experience survey, we were requesting that everybody completed the survey in order to really gain an understanding of what it is that we feel makes Middlesex Middlesex. So the survey helps us better understand the employee experience, identify our risks to retention and morale, as well as strengthen communication and growth across the campus community. This isn't just about the data that we received through the survey, even though it's incredibly useful. It's more about aligning our work with the college's mission and making MCC an even better place to work. So some of you may be curious who was responding to this survey. So I broke it out in a few different fashions. The two of which we're going to focus on today is by unit. So we have several units here at the college, primarily focusing on our AFSCME unit. Think our administrative assistants and facilities, for example. We also have our adjunct faculty here. Those are our part-time night teachers. We have our full-time MCCC faculty. So those are our full-time day professors. After that, we have our part-time non-unit professionals, part-time MCCC professionals, as well as full-time non-unit professionals and MCCC professionals. Some big items here for respondents would be our non-unit professionals. So that made up 31% of responses, totaling to 67 responses altogether. And then our next two leading would be our full-time MCCC professional staff, as well as our full-time MCCC faculty, both making up 18% with responses of 38 per group. Then we're going to look at it by division. So when you were taking the survey, you were asked to self-identify your division in order for us to have a better understanding of specific items that came up during the survey. Our most largely represented group of individuals would be within the Academic and Student Affairs Department. So our individuals working directly with our students, making those day-to-day impacts in order to create that change and drive student success. Looking at it from a high-level summary, the results show both strengths and areas for opportunity, and we're going to dive into those a little bit more. But just from the treetops, we have a strong pride and alignment with our college mission. There's a high level of respect amongst supervisors and peers, and then most importantly, our feedback highlighted the opportunity, of which we'll be discussing a little bit later on. And some concerns were raised about the reduction in telework, but we're going to discuss those later on in our survey here. Our main focus was really looking at the top priorities as well as our lowest priorities here within the survey. So a lot of information came about our mission alignment and resources. 94% of us said that we understand how our work contributes to the mission, which is something to celebrate. But at the same time, only 47% of us feel that we have the resources to do our jobs well. This does show that our commitment to MCC and our mission is very strong, which is a wonderful thing, but we do have some room for improvement in order for us to all feel secure, like we have the necessary tools to do our jobs. Some of my favorite quotes that really showed the passion for our mission, I've included here as our first two. I'm just going to read the first one that came up and really spoke to me, which was the best part of working at MCC is the ability to support and advocate for our student veterans and military affiliated students. Being part of their academic journey and helping them navigate their transition to college and life is both an honor and deeply rewarding experience, showing that true connection to our mission and ensuring that our students are our top priority here at MCC. Focusing on our resources, some items that did come up was things such as our Wi-Fi. So one quote that really spoke to it and how it can impact us as well as our students would be our exams requiring connectivity to the Wi-Fi, and often students are experiencing trouble connecting. Excellent Wi-Fi connectivity should be an improvement priority. And I am able to share this is a priority right now for our IT department. Pramod did share some items that are being worked on in order to actively troubleshoot. So we should be seeing some improvement there as we move along in the semester. Afterwards, we are focusing on our skill utilization and role clarity. So about 89% of us understand what is expected in our role. So think our day-to-day, what we're working on each and every day, processing those forms, holding those meetings with students, things such as that. However, only 41% of us feel that our skills are being fully utilized. So we heard comments about wanting more acknowledgement as well as taking on more responsibilities in order to feel more engaged. So this is sharing that each of us are feeling eager to contribute to our mission as well as who we are as an institution. And it shows us that there's an opportunity for us to create pathways and recognition for us to do that. We're going to dive a little bit deeper later on in some recommendations as to how we're going to be addressing our skills and talents being effectively utilized. And then some of our quotes that were pulled from the survey are shown on screen. And the one that really spoke to me the most about understanding our role is our employees with experience and dedication. Nope, that's the wrong one. More ways to make sure we all understand what we contribute to as a whole. So that's showing that we have an understanding, but there's that craving for more, which we're going to be diving into how we'll be fulfilling that later on. Respect and relationships are a huge part of every single day, especially in the workplace. Respect is a real strength here at MCC, and about 80% of us said that we feel respected by both our supervisors and our peers. There were some open-ended comments that really highlight trust, teamwork, and a sense of belonging, which is an area that we want to continue on, build on and protect as much as possible. There's going to be some opportunities later on that will be tying into our respect and relationship building, ensuring that supervisors and potential supervisors have the tools to ensure they can continue this legacy forward. Though it was not directly requested within this employee survey, there was a large feedback about telework. Approximately 35% of respondents mentioned telework in one way or another within those open-ended feedbacks. Many described it as a key to productivity, morale, and retention. At the same time, there are concerns about the further reduction, apologies. At the same time, there are concerns about possible reductions in the future. While decisions about telework are made at the college level, this feedback underscores how much flexibility matters and our role to find other ways to support work-life balance. So we're going to kind of dig into how we'll be supporting that work-life balance down the road in order to feel that vibrancy on campus, having everybody recognized as well as visible on our campus, really enhancing that community that we have. Overall, some of the things that we heard, there was 4 main categories of which we could bucket these into. They are shown on the screen, such as our student-centered commitment, the clarity and accountability, growth and development, as well as resources and recognition. These themes capture both what we're proud of and what we have for room for opportunity. Some items that align with these themes specifically are student-centered commitment, tying back to our pride to advance MCC's mission as well as serve our students. We want the responsibilities and processes to reflect this commitment, and we're going to be working to ensure that is the case. We have our clarity and accountability. So our employees value clear expectations in our roles. We want to know what are we showing up for? Why are we doing what we're doing? And there's a really good recognition of that for us, which is an incredible achievement for us to recognize. But at the same time, that request for more in specific training is really, really relevant. So there's going to be some things being built down the road in order to address those concerns. Similar, there's our growth and development. So there's a strong interest here for professional development and learning opportunities. So not only myself, but Joanne Jaber-Govin, Director of Professional Development, will be tackling this item here in various fashions, both for faculty and staff. I will be working on improving our recognition, and some of you may have already heard some ways we're doing that, which I'm going to discuss in just a few moments. Lastly, we have our resources and recognition, which we just previously discussed, that craving for reliable technology, making sure that we're having our managers play that role properly when getting that technology in order for us to succeed. And then lastly, once again, our recognition and appreciation do remain a critical motivator, but the way we do it is what we're going to end up looking into a little bit more. Based on all of the feedback that was shared, there were some items that became very relevant, stating that they are top priorities for us to address, some of which include our new hire orientation. So this is a new hire orientation for professional staff, non-unit professionals, as well as our AFSCME individuals. The idea here is to develop a new hire orientation, which is in process right now, and it's going to be a virtual orientation, allowing new hires to come on in on their first day, go through all different parts related to the college policies, maps of the college, key contacts here at MCC, very similar to our student orientation for those who may be familiar with that. It is the same platform that we will be utilizing. In addition to that, there will be scheduled check-ins between myself and the employee, our new employees, kind of to gain an understanding of how they're feeling, what they feel they may need to succeed more. So I'll be having conversations with some of you in the coming months in order to make sure that we're ensuring your success here at MCC. Additionally, there was a huge request for career pathways. So where are we going to be able to go here at MCC? If I'm starting out in position A, how do I get to position B? With that request, it will be looked at in how we can develop our internal growth tracks, stating if you are in that position B, what trainings, what additional duties, for example, and what advancements timelines would be needed in order for an individual to move into that new role. It is not necessarily guaranteeing a new position, but it's showing individuals potential roadmaps for where they could go here at the college. This will also be reinforced during the onboarding process, making sure that our new hires are aware of this, but it'll also be reinforced during our performance reviews to ensure that we're all aware of we're here today, where do we want to be tomorrow? The other opportunity that came up would be a supervisor learning track. Some may find this very familiar, similar to the Managers Institute. A little bit of a rebrand here. So we're going to be focusing on a learning track to support both current leaders and those preparing for future leadership roles. Various topics are going to be discussed during this, such as employee coaching, community-centered leadership, onboarding and what does it mean for a manager, purchasing, so such as working with our purchasing department, how to submit that PO, what does it look like once the PO is submitted, for example, and conflict resolution as well, because it is a very important item to discuss. These will be developed, and once it is ready for launch, you'll hear about it on our HR happenings, as well as the newscaster with more information and links to sign up. Another opportunity that should be coming your way is our WISE funds. And you may be wondering what our WISE funds are. That would be well-being inspired by support and engagement. The thought of our WISE funds would be allowing either a team or a collection of individuals to come together and utilize a small bucket of money in order to focus on items such as building community, promoting wellness, and sparking collaboration. Some examples of how that would be happening would be community building. So going out with your team and working with the community partners in order to either build a house with them or things of that. More well-being, such as taking a department-wide yoga retreat for a half a day, for example. Really tying more so into our well-being to ensure that we are refreshed as individuals to further support our students. Very close and upcoming way we are recognizing our employees is our second annual new employee reception. This is occurring prior to FSA. New employees have received an invitation to attend this. However, it is greatly appreciated if anybody and everybody can get the word out, so that way we can have that connection, make sure that those that are new to the college are connected with individuals across our community to really further that belonging. And then you may be wondering, this may all be wonderful information, but how are we going to see if it's working? We're going to do a pulse survey. So it's not going to be an intense 31 question survey for y'all to complete. It's going to be a shorter micro survey, just 5 to 10 questions asking how we're doing, what is it that we can improve on, what has worked, and any other feedback that may be warranted at that time. That will be coming in April of 2026, aligning for about a year since the survey was taken. To address our craving for employee recognition, though we do have employee recognition during PD Day, for example, with the PRP, as well as service awards, and then a variety of recognition, we want more day-to-day. So there's going to be a rollout of Swoop Salute. So that has been recognized, announced within the HR happenings. It's a peer-to-peer recognition program where anybody that is an employee at the college can elect another employee at the college. The reason you would be electing them is because they're really going above and beyond in one or all of 3 key areas, including innovation, impact, and inclusion. You'll fill out a brief explanation as to the work they're doing and how it's impacting either your department, the college, the community, etc. Individuals are going to be recognized on a monthly basis, starting out in our newsletter, and my hope is to get these on our digital signage across campus. I have made a request with our marketing department, who was kind enough to begin looking that over. So in the event that an individual is recognized, hope you will hopefully see them on our campus signage. The first recipient will be recognized in October 2025. So keep an eye out for that newsletter coming that first Monday of October, and you'll be sure to see who was the recipient this time. Do we have any questions at all, as well as any comments that we would like to address?
Okay, stand by, Jake. I'm just going to open up the chat for all to weigh in on the side here. And there we go. Chat should be open for folks if you want to weigh in with your questions.
Perfect. And I want to thank you, Jake, for doing such a great job of laying out not only the survey and the respondents and the percentages and sort of the themes that I think would surprise none of us here at Middlesex. You know, first and foremost, that student-centered commitment to the work that all of you do every day, but the areas for improvement around, you know, clarity and accountability, growth and development, and career pathways, and resources and recognition, all things that we've started to discuss how we might be able to address those, but are very open to your thoughts and ideas about that. And Jake has been working with leadership to develop solutions to the employee experience survey. We want to focus very much on some ideas that you think would really work. So we're hoping that you have some comments, thoughts, or questions that we can answer this afternoon.
Jake, I've got the first one queued up for you. It's from Stacy Hargis. That's 2 questions. Number 1, how many number of responses did we get? And number 2, will we get the survey again next year?
Sure. So we received a total of 213 responses from across the college. And then the survey, though not the exact survey, will be launched again next year, but a pulse survey will be. So a little mini assessment to see how we're doing, and then a bigger survey similar to the one we just took, probably in about 2 years, to dive a little bit deeper.
It's a great question, Stacy. And I think we've learned a lot from this survey. And as you can see, we're trying to develop an action plan, but I would encourage people to use some of the things that we've already talked about, such as sort of this critical conversation opportunity, but also open door days to share concerns that people may have or ideas around ways that we can tackle these 4 themes. But we want to make sure that we stay in touch with all of you about the progress that we're making with the plan, and see if there are any things that you think are really resonating with you more so than others, so that we can adjust the plan as we go forward.
Jake, Scott Gabriel is asking what percentage of the employees responded? 213 out of how many?
Oh boy, give me 1 moment for our total.
Yeah, that depends on how many employees you count. So part-time and full-time, that number will be significant. But my guess is we're closer to about an 18 or 20% response rate with this survey. would be my guess. If you counted all of our employees over time, including any adjuncts, whether they're currently on the schedule or not.
Okay, Jake, next we've got up from Kim Huon. Do we need to register to be in a career pathway?
You will not need to register. However, it is a very elementary idea at this moment. The actual step-by-step process for that career pathway is being looked at, and kind of what it will look like. Once we have an idea, I'll be sharing out more information with the entire college. So I'll be sure to keep you in mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Phil.
Go ahead. I want to thank Kim for that question and for his participation. You'll see a lot of new faces on the Zoom, new employees that we have. Many of them are folks that are alums, that were students here, that had their own experience, and now they're having an experience. And their experience as students was that they clearly got guidance about their career pathway. And so we do a remarkable job of doing this with our students and giving them opportunities and for leadership and transfer, and we want to make sure that we can sort of match that with employees. So that's a great question, Kevin. I really appreciate it.
Okay, Jake, next up, Dean Matt Hurwitz, in addition to throwing you kudos for a good presentation, wants to know when will the official announcement go out regarding the WISE funds?
To be determined, Matthew. I have not received an official launch date, but once it is ready to go, I'll be putting it in all of my communications channels, newscaster, email, as well as the HR happenings. But I anticipate it relatively soon is my hope.
Yeah, and we just want to remind people that until the information about those WISE funds go out, our interest is in your growth and development. There are professional development funds that people can access through Joanne's office. And so, and talk with your deans about that and make sure that you're utilizing those opportunities, because sometimes it comes out of professional development zones, sometimes it can come out of departmental opportunities. We know that getting connected to conferences and leadership opportunities are important for a lot of folks, and we want to support that. So there's no, one way to do that. I think WISE will be just another opportunity for people to gain some support for some of the activities that they know will make them better employees and prepare them more for the future.
All right, Jake, from via Deb Bucker, we saw the broader themes listed, but what about specific concerns about resources other than the Wi-Fi? Will we have details about those issues that were raised and how they will be addressed?
So there will, wonderful question for sure. There's not going to be an exact one for one. So there's not going to be, this is the concern that was raised and this is what's being done about it. It's more so different initiatives are going to be rolled out in order to address those concerns. And the reason we're not going to share out exactly what concerns were shared is really to protect the anonymity of the survey.
Yeah, and I'd also say, Deb, I mean, it's a great question in the sense that whenever you do a survey, those surveys are being completed by individuals. And so what we tried to capture here are themes that we can grab hold of and do something immediately about. But there is one thing that I will say, and that is that you have staff and administrators here who are doing their very best to be responsive. So if you have a resource or a particular need, that's a conversation you should be having with your supervisor. That's a conversation you should be having in your department. That's a conversation that you should be having to prepare for budget. If it's something that there are needs, there are forms to be filled out from IT or a variety of different areas. So what I would say is that while no two comments may be exactly the same, it's in the institution's best interest for you to be an effective employee and for you to be a happy employee, for us to be able to provide the resources that you need to do your job. And so I think the idea is communicating that to someone closest to you is the best way to get that addressed. And that is, and of course, I would also welcome any comments from people who have raised resource issues with their supervisors that cannot be met. And we'll see what we can do beyond what may be available through departmental funds. And so those issues should be able to trickle up so that we can address resource issues. But I'm going to encourage people to get closest to it and have conversations with your managers about any specific resources that you need, and we'll do everything we can to, within reason, address those the best that we can.
Yeah, I was just mostly thinking if there were other broad things like the Wi-Fi. That was not on an individual basis, but if there was some other concern that rose kind of to that same level, that was more my intent there with that question.
Got it.
Next one I think is for either Phil or Jake, from Stacy Hargis. It seems that career pathway discussion is very staff oriented. Will that also include faculty at all, like a pathway to administration?
Yeah, I mean, actually, those conversations happen all the time. They may be personal conversations that people aren't necessarily aware of, but faculty have conversations with department chairs and deans, opportunities. If you look at some of the advancement that's actually occurred here at the institution, you'll find that there are a number of faculty who have moved into administrative roles over the years here at Middlesex. Developing a pathway to do that is a really important step. And I think that there are lots of mentors and people at the institution that can assist with that process. And there are leadership opportunities, whether they be conferences or organizations that can assist with that as well. Faculty development has always been a focus here at Middlesex, but the idea of transitioning away from faculty into an administrative role, we have a number of folks that have done that here at the institution on the dean level, and the assistant dean level, at the vice president's level. So I think there are a number of examples of folks that are available. And I think I would encourage people to reach out to people that they communicate well with, that they have a relationship with, or they've had some understanding of their own advancement in that area to be able to serve in that capacity. I think of some of our recent deans as people who are prime examples of people who have moved from faculty roles over time to administrative roles. And so we've got some really shining examples of people who have moved out of the faculty into those roles. And I know that we've got people who are very open to talking about that and how that happened and how that made that happen and what were the steps they took to prove some of the administrative functions and their skills and capabilities as they're working within their job description. So I think that that's about engagement with the college. That's about expressing that you're interested in that work, and then us finding ways through different leadership opportunities, both inside the state and outside of the state, to be able to get people connected so that they have the development of their own path.
Just using this point to remind folks that you can raise a question by tapping on your raise hand emoji, or just tap something into the chat and we'll address it with the group.
Other questions, thoughts, comments?
We have
It's a
nothing
very-
else queued up.
Very
in the chat,
busy and
so-
exhausted and tired group, Jake. They've had a rough September. There's a lot going on. But I want to thank you for an excellent presentation of the survey and the themes that we've identified and the discussion we've had as a leadership team with HR about your work going forward. And again, not all of this can happen overnight, but I know that Jake is working very diligently to begin to address a lot of your concerns. And I'm going to say this, Jake, and you can stop me, but Jake is very open to hearing from all of you about the work that he can do in, employee engagement. Hear your suggestions as well, and maybe Jake, there's an opportunity to set up an open door day with Jake too as well, so that you can hear from folks about some of the ideas that they may not want to express here on Zoom, but we all have a real concern about making sure that Middlesex is not only the best place for our students to have an educational experience, but we want to make sure that our employee experience is the best that it can be as well. We want you all to be here for a long time doing great work. And so we're going to do everything we can to try and ensure that you are happy in your role and you are supported in your role and you have the resources that you need and you have a path to whatever is next. And I would say that there's no time that's more important than right now, when opportunities grow within the institution and outside the institution. As I said, we've hired a significant number of new people, and many of those new people are our alums. And so they love the place so much that they've gone on to get baccalaureate degrees and master's degrees, and they choose to come back and be part of this institution. And there's no better testimony to the student-centered commitment that we have here at the institution than some of those new employees. So I hope you all join us on Thursday at 2 o'clock for the pre-FSA reception to welcome our new employees. And we're going to be excited to celebrate them and recognize them as they enter their first year with the institution. And again, I just want to thank you all for the hard work that you're doing every day to make this the best place that it possibly can be for all of us and for our students. I'm incredibly proud of what we do here and what all of you do. I look forward to seeing you at FSA for celebrating our new employees. And I definitely look forward to seeing you for our 55th anniversary and our 10th anniversary of Anapisi. We don't get a chance to have a blowout at the institution all that often, so only comes around every few years. So please enjoy this anniversary with us and sign up and get your tickets and place your donations. And we thank you very much for doing that and being part of this community. If there's nothing else, then we'll thank you for your time, let you get back to work, and look forward to seeing you next month, if certainly not before, when we talk about the student experience through the CESI survey that we did out of IR, where thanks to the help of all the faculty who gave up time in their classrooms to be able to get that student survey completed again and on target. So thank you all very much and have a great day.
Thank you.